Hey guys, Luke here and welcome back to episode 8, season 4 of the James Hart Rugby League Live 3 Be a Pro career mode. Now, in this episode, we're going to be taking on the Sydney Roosters first up. I forget who the second team is, but we are taking on the Roosters first up, as you'll be able to see in a second here. It is the Roosters. I think the second team was the Knights, actually, but I should talk about last episode. Now, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. A very, very humbling loss to, I can't remember who it was. I think it was the Parramatta Eels. We got absolutely smashed, like 30 plus points were scored against us. Absolutely ridiculous. Probably the biggest loss that I've been involved in when playing this game in terms of, James Hart being involved in. I'm sure there probably have been other games that we've been pumped like that, but yeah, it was a bit of a shock to get thrashed as much as what we did. Now, we did follow up the next week with a pretty strong win ourselves there. I think James Hart still coming up with some pretty good performances. I mean, even in the loss, he probably wasn't the worst player. He wasn't his best game by any means, but still played half decent, I suppose. But yeah, we are looking for a pretty strong game here from young James Hart. Still got the socks around his ankles. Maybe that's a little bit of a problem. Maybe that's what's causing the bad luck. As you can see, Daniel Tupou open to scoring less than 10 minutes into the game. So it's been a fair few highlights in the game so far. But yeah, most of them coming to the Roosters. You saw some of the first touches by James Hart. Nothing too spectacular. A few little decent runs here and there, but we are looking for something special here, and there's a good little palm. There's an offload, and what a risky offload it was. Thankfully, Daniel Mortimer, I think it was, comes up with the ball there. Now, I'm not sure why James Hart would have threw that pass, but he did so, and he does come up with a pretty good tackle there. It was around the legs. There was an offload, like there tends to be in that sort of position a lot of the times, the late offload, and once again was to nobody. Now, offloads earlier did result in the try for the Roosters. As you can see, they're just throwing around the ball a lot of line breaks being created, and we are constantly going for those legs tackles. We don't want to risk getting palmed off like we did early in the game. Now, I'm not sure confidence or morale has anything to do in this game. I'm not sure it's even in there, but I do find if you start missing a few tackles, like you'll continue to miss those tackles for some reason. I don't know exactly why it is, but that's just how I feel about this game. Seems to be some sort of momentum, and yeah, missed tackles is a part of it, I believe. Now, yeah, I haven't got anything to back me up in terms of is that true or not, but it's just something that I feel happens. Now, Jake Friend, I think it is here, he is going to end up scoring. That was absolutely appalling there, and we keep going for the legs. That's all well and good, but you can't do it on your own line. It's just really, really shit from James Hart there. It's also shit from the rest of the Bulldogs defence. I'm not sure what they're doing. They're just caught napping. Jake Friend had a dummy half, just ran straight around them. It was absolutely shithouse in my opinion. But James Hart is going to try and strike back there. Gets it to the number 11. I think it might have been Josh Jackson or someone. Now, I've seen some people saying, Luke, you don't pass at all with James Hart. Why don't you pass? You see, that's the reason. You put someone in a gap, then they throw another cutout pass instead of just running into the gap. It is quite frustrating, but 10-0 down, not the end of the world. We are still in the game. As you can see, we are starting off the half pretty well. It is fifth tackle, throwing around the ball a lot, but we are creating some chances. But Seton Kasiano is absolutely rocked there. Fifth tackle, that was a handover, unfortunately. But James Hart does create a break there, gets it to Daniel Mortimer, so we are passing a fair bit. We're looking for those players backing up, but they're not quite backing up as well as we need them to. But James Hart is tackled a few metres out of the line, but he did drive himself over, scoring the first try for the Bulldogs this game, and getting them back into the game. It will be a 4-point ball game, so well and truly back in the game, and another try would see the Bulldogs hit the lead, and they might just do so right here, but there is a forward pass from us. It is ruled a knock on, and then straight from that they pick up the ball, they throw a few passes, and I think there might have been a palm somewhere in there, and Jack Reed, who is now at the Roosters, ends up running away, scoring a try, and pretty much securing the game for the Roosters, extending the lead back out to 10 points. There's Chad Townsend kicks the goal. It's quite funny to see Chad Townsend at the Roosters, but yeah, James Hart was trying everything he could, almost trying too hard, which is what I think the problem is. As you saw, like the offload never needed to happen, but it did happen, and at the end of the day, Jack Reed scores the try. You can see that was a risky offload, but you just see he had to pass the ball, but thankfully Bakia ends up scoring anyways. But all he had to do was draw and pass. It just shows this game. This is why I don't like leaving anything into the AI's hands there. Thankfully Mortimer kicks the goal, so AI doing his job there, but yeah, they're not very reliable. You can't rely on the AI, but that is a pretty nice run there first up from James Hart, as well as an offload. Now, it was a risky offload, but I think it needs to happen. If we're going to score here, it needs to be through James Hart, and that's what we're going to be doing. Hart calls for the ball. He gets the ball, and he's around Jack Reed, the try scorer, and it's around the fullback, but Jack Reed is the one chasing. Jack Reed gets to him and throws him over the sideline. How heartbreaking there. Absolutely heartbreaking. Now, that wasn't the last play of the game. I wish it kind of was. It was actually a pretty spectacular tackle and chase, but Hart did come up with a few tackles straight from the scrum, but I mean, we're just trying to get the ball back, trying to force an error, but it never happened. And we do go down by 4 points, 16-12. The Roosters end up winning. You can see James Hart picked up man of the match. I think he had a really good game, in my opinion. It's just the rest of the side is still lacking. But yeah, I think we will get there eventually. We started off pretty okay, but the last few games not so great. Now you can see 87 rated now. I believe we were 87 rated beforehand now, so I don't think it's a case of we moved from 86 to 87. I think we're already on 87, but we did level up. I should point that out. That's why that little clip was in there. Now looking at the night side, Sam Tonkin's been there. He's been there for a few seasons now, and Drinkwater's in the side, but Josh Reynolds in the side. I think Hodkinson was back in the halfback position as well. So I don't know what's been going on with the side. It's been quite a weak side. You can see Mortimer on the bench there. I'm not sure why Christian Hazard keeps getting picked in the side, or he kept getting picked in the side. It is quite frustrating. How can you start to get on a roll? How can a team get on a roll when you're constantly swapping the halves? Now, for a little bit last year, we experienced that ourselves with James Hart getting rotated with Clinton Gutherson, and obviously it did affect our form a little bit, not too much, but it did affect the team, I think. James Hart, when he came on, did the job, but yeah, team-wise, wasn't great. Now James Hart is going to score here, takes it straight through the middle there. I actually couldn't believe he got through the gap. I thought for sure we're going to get cleaned up when we sort of try to take around the fullback. Usually, the defence chasing back and trying to go around the fullback, they change of direction, you sort of run into one of the chasing defenders, but it didn't happen this time. And right here you can see there's an offload. I'm not sure who it was. I think it's to Clydesdale, the hooker, and Clydesdale has no one in front of him, and he actually is going to score a try. Now that is one of the rare occasions on Be A Pro where the AI will score without any involvement from the human control player. Something that doesn't happen too often. Obviously a lot of offloads and that sort of stuff, but most of the time they throw it to the wrong player, or like Clydesdale will be in space and instead of just running he would pass it for some reason. Like that just seems to happen on this game. But that time it worked out perfectly, and funnily enough, Clydesdale against his old team, the Knights, doing a good job now. I think as Brett Morris comes up with the ball there, and he gets a quick pass off. We did call for it, and we're up the wing there. Unfortunately for us, whoever it was came across and made a tackle for the Knights there. But it just shows we're always on the prowl, always looking to attack. Even in situations where we're in defence. But see the Knights, they end up scoring a try. Glenn Buttress, I can't believe we let him score. A player like Glenn Buttress should not be scoring in that situation. But the Knights went from being really against the odds at the moment to sort of getting back into the game. You can see a 6-point ball game. Dane Gagai kicks the goals. I'm not really sure if he's a goal kicker, but he is on this game. Anyways, right from the kickoff, we do get involved in that tackle. We don't make the tackle initially, but do get involved, and is followed up by a line break just there. And thankfully, James Hart comes up with a big tackle. It was a arm-pinning tackle as well, so no chance of an offload. Now, right here, looking to do a similar thing. There's the offload, and the Knights, they pass it one more time. I don't know why they did that. And there was a late challenge there, I think, from maybe Josh Morris. But Glenn Buttress scores his second try. Now, I don't know what it is with hookers scoring against us. Matt Ballin did score a hat-trick against us not too long ago, and it looks like Glenn Buttress is on his way to doing so. Yeah, Matt Ballin's one thing to consider a hat-trick, but Glenn Buttress on a whole nother level. Like, I can't believe it. What next? Matt Schramm going to score a hat-trick against us? Is those sort of guys, Bo Falloon, is he going to score a hat-trick? I don't know. Who knows? Anyways, at halftime, it is an even ball game, and it is quite disappointing that it is an even ball game. You can see James Hart man of the match so far. But yeah, I really think we were the better side by quite a distance. It's just those little lapses in concentration from the side. And I mean, if we're going to be one of the top sides, we've got to get that shit out of our game. Now right here, that is a big tackle from James Hart, and it was a really stupid offload, which is probably more, more the story of that little clip rather than being a great tackle or anything. But yeah, they're constantly going for those offloads when they don't need it, just like we have on occasion. But right here, it is the Knights trying to make a bit of a line break there, but on it again, James Hart comes up with another tackle, and right here looking for another kick chase. I think this time it's on McManus there, and that's another good tackle, not letting him make any meters there, just wrapping the ball up very, very quickly. Now they're going to make another line break here. It is up to James Hart, but he is taken straight around. It was Dane Gagai as well who took it around him. Actually, it was Gerard Beale, Dane Gagai, a pretty good centre combination. A throwback to the Broncos in about 2010, was it? But yeah, the Knights, they hit the lead for the first time this game, and I'll be absolutely spewing if the Knights end up winning this game after having a 12-point lead. It just shouldn't happen. And right here, you can see James Hart trying his best, palming off players, but just not really playing smart at this stage. He needs to play a lot smarter. Really should have just taken it infield once he got palmed, but I mean, what can you do? He got smashed. He got thrown over the sideline, much like Jack Reed did in the game previously. But the Knights still creating most of the chances here. I think it's going to have to be a James Hart sort of spectacular try that gets him back to the game. But I think it was Sam Tompkins who ended up with the ball there, and we did have to hold them down a little bit longer. Our defensive line was all over the shot there, and I think we would have conceded a try for sure. Unfortunately, we did concede 2 points as they kicked a penalty goal from out and wide. I'm not sure that they would have gone for that option in real life, considering, you know, with the situation of the game, but they did. And yeah, we've got 8 points to make up here, and it's gonna be a struggle. 6 points we can do. 8 points, I'm not really sure, especially with how much time's left on the clock. But Hart is going for the corner. It's a battle against Tompkins, and we do end up putting a big spectacular put down there. It was near perfect. Now, if I had a better replay, I would have shown it, but unfortunately, we didn't have a better replay of the put down. But it was quite a good one, just inside the line. And you can see right here, 71st minute. That's a great little ball to James Graham, I believe it was. Unfortunately, he couldn't come up with a pass himself there, which is what he needed to do. But we do get tackled once again there. Sam Tompkins this time, we couldn't get it around him, couldn't head to the corner because he ended up making a great tackle. Just had the speed in us. Tompkins, one of the best fullbacks on the game here. And I thought it was Tim Laffwhite was going to go in and score there. Was it Chase Stanley? I'm not really sure. But we see we've got plenty of numbers out on the left here. We need to get the ball. We get the ball. We need to get the pass off. Number 11 was out there on the wing, but they just rushed up on us and we couldn't get the pass off. That is a chance gone begging there, and that is the game gone begging. James Hart tried to take the game into his own hands, couldn't do it, unfortunately, and the Bulldogs go down 4 points, or by 4 points, to the Newcastle Knights. Very, very disappointing. You can see they're still level 39. We're doing a lot of the personal objectives too, which is quite nice, getting us more XP and that sort of stuff, but we're just not getting those wins. We started off well, we've fallen off already, and we're only about 4, 5, 6 games into the season or so. So it's not looking too great for us at this stage, but I'm pretty confident we can turn it around. And I think all it takes is James Hart and a few others to cut the little errors out, and we should be all good. Anyways, that's where the video is going to end. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter at Mr. Luke and YT, Facebook page in the description below, and I'll see you for my next video. Bye guys.